follow directions?
I like to. Me too.
yeah,
I like
I'm
to
not
wait a second. So I'm like, oh, today you're not.
Your weather is what I live for.
Who's that Jake? Yes,
Okay.
Right.
Alright guys, you tried your sticky notes that I gave you that out for me?
Yeah?
I know, I have a
The blue one, you have it? Pass this out to you, don't fill it out just yet.
No, good teeth though.
Miss Sawyer, do you want to fill one out for Josh, or you just want me to leave it here for him?
I can do it. I can fill it out for him. That way when he gets here, I can kind of fill him in and let him, and I'll send him to the seat.
Yeah, thank you. Alright guys, so today we are going to be learning about severe weather. Does anyone know any kinds of severe weather by any chance? Carter?
Tornadoes, hurricanes, hailstorms, wildfires, and thunderstorms, and blizzards.
You might have said all of them. Does anyone have any more? I know Carter just said a handful. Hold on. You're right, yeah. Really?
A tsunami? I don't know.
A tsunami?
Actually, tsunamis aren't weather because they get caused by earthquakes, and earthquakes are
Earthquakes!
weather.
Earthquakes!
That's fair.
Earthquakes!
Jennings, you're also right. Earthquakes.
He just said it. Earthquakes.
All right, guys. So what weather conditions are associated with each type of severe weather? Does anyone have any idea what's associated with a tornado?
Wind.
Either if you're outside and get out of the cold, or if you're inside, stay away from windows and the room that's not.
You're right.
Why do you stay in a hole if there's a tornado?
Because it can't get you inside the hole.
All right, guys. One at a time. One at a time. So tornadoes. What's the first thing you think of when you think of a tornado? Carter?
Hail and wind.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What's another thing a tornado does? Anybody think of it? Hold it.
Wind on the side.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
All right. Can anyone think of what a hurricane does?
that's easy.
Carter?
Flooding, storm surge, tornadoes, and also that too, and heavy winds.
Yes, sir. All right, and thunderstorms. Hayden, do you have anything for thunderstorms? Too?
I don't know.
Yes, ma'am. All right, guys, we'll move on. So I handed you guys sticky notes. What I want you guys to do with the sticky notes is think of at least one fact for a tornado, one fact for a thunderstorm, and one fact for a hurricane. If you have more, feel free to write them on those sticky notes. When you guys are finished, I'm gonna give you around 5 minutes. When you guys are finished with the facts, put the thunderstorm one where the poster is right there. Put the hurricane one where the hurricane poster is right there. And put the tornado one where the tornado poster is right there. If you guys want to speak with your partner behind you, you're more than welcome to get some ideas from them. You guys can go ahead and start.
I don't have anything. Hi, wall. That's what it's called. The wall. Yeah, the wall. I got the wall. The walls might be the wall.
You got about 2 more minutes, so think about your last fact pretty quick, and when you get done, place it on its respective poster for me.
Do I have to put my name on it?
You don't have to. If your heart desires, though, feel free. All right, guys, we're gonna come back to the sticky notes. Stop right in for a second. It's okay, it's okay.
The left one.
All right, guys, so first we're gonna start out with you guys' least favorite one, it seems like, because everyone during the pre-test wanted to talk about tornadoes. So we're gonna go to thunderstorms, which is equally as fun. You guys always remember that. So one of the sticky notes says stay inside, which is a very smart thing to do during a thunderstorm. Another one says if you're outside, stay away from trees, metal, and more metal, which is also very smart during a thunderstorm. Why do you guys think it's smart to stay away from metal during a thunderstorm? Carter?
Because metal can bounce those lightning strikes and it can hit you.
You're right, yes, sir. And then the one down here says about exactly the same thing. All right, guys, you turn your direction to hurricanes.
Oh, only 2 people.
Only 2 people are about hurricanes.
I didn't think so.
All right, guys, so for hurricanes, we have heavy flooding, storm surge, tornadoes, and heavy wind. When happening, move inland, which is very smart. Who put that one down? Carter, good job. The next one, we have hurricanes, wind, and that says something about a window. Who put this one up? What does it say about a window? Just trying to stay away from windows? Is that what you're trying to say?
One fell. Yeah, because tornadoes can happen while
One fell?
Oh, there were 3.
There were 3, guys. And then this one says, don't get in water, which is also correct. Good job, guys.
Don't get a water.
Get in water during a hurricane.
Because then,
I have an inside
then
pool at my
there
old
could
house.
be flooding and you can drown.
Not flooding, you can drown. Yes, sir, Carter, that is correct.
I remember
Everybody.
every time I got in my
Every
neighborhood before.
All right, guys, so for this one,
Tornadoes.
one second, Carter. So for tornadoes, I'm not gonna read all of these because you guys seem to know a lot about tornadoes already. But one of them says rip houses apart and trees. That is true. One also says if you're outside, hide in a hole. Izzy, that is also true. If you don't have anywhere else to go during a tornado, get in a ditch. And then hailstorms and extreme winds. That is also correct. All right, guys, let's direct our attention back to the front. So first, we're going to watch a video about tornadoes. I know you guys love videos. We're going to watch a video on tornadoes. And then afterwards, you guys are going to direct yourselves to the graphic organizer I gave you. And we're going to get started on that. So think about how tornadoes are formed and think about the weather conditions that go with tornadoes.
In this program, we're going to learn about tornadoes. What is a tornado? A tornado is a violent rotating column of air extending from a thunderstorm to the ground. The most violent tornadoes reaches the ground, it is then called a tornado. It's not fully understood exactly how tornadoes form, grow, and die. Tornado researchers are still trying to figure it out. We do know that most tornadoes are formed out of intense thunderstorms called supercells. Thunderstorms and supercells are created when warm, moist air rises and encounters cold, dry air. Under certain conditions, when the warm air moving up into the cloud is very strong, a tornado can develop. The USA averages around 1,200 tornadoes every year, more than any other country. Most of these tornadoes occur between the Rocky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains in an area called Tornado Alley. Tornadoes are most common here because it is the region where moist air from the Gulf of Mexico meets the cold, dry air from the Rocky Mountains, creating intense thunderstorms that can produce tornadoes. Tornadoes are extremely dangerous. Basements and other underground areas are the safest places to seek shelter during a tornado. Today, meteorologists study and observe tornadoes so they can better predict when and where they will happen.
Alright, guys. Someone put on the lights for me? Alright guys, so if you look at your graphic organizer on the first row, the second box where it says formation and weather conditions. From the video you guys just watched, can anyone tell me a weather condition from a tornado?
It's hailstorms and extreme winds are weather conditions.
Okay. And you guys can write down exactly what I'm writing on the board, okay? Does anyone have anything else they learned from the video about weather conditions? Owen? James?
Storm cells, I guess.
The supercell thunderstorms? Now, does anyone remember what it said about the warm air or cold air? Jenny?
The warm air makes up for the cold air forming a tornado.
Yes, sir.
Hard having to move now.
Guys, in a tornado, you need to understand that the warm air rises and it meets the cold air. They don't just kind of come together randomly. The warm air does rise and the cold air comes down. Now, what kind of shape is a tornado? Let's think about the formation. What kind of shape is a tornado?
Like a funnel. A big cylinder that isn't really.
Carter, I'm going to write down cylinder just because I like that word, and it can kind of remind you of a cylinder. That's a good job thinking outside the box. More of a cone shape, but you know, if the tornado is wider and larger, it definitely can remind you of a cylinder.
Sometimes they're like really skinny, but they can like have the same shape when they like go down.
Yes, sir, you are correct. Because some tornadoes are wide. They definitely are wider than usual.
It's kind of like a cone.
So how do I go? Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I don't have to blow on for a second.
Now you gotta wait on that.
Oh yeah, now I got it already. So I'm glad you guys said it. Thank you.
Go to the bottom left.
I try to use a little clicker. that
The
you
little
use.
box, if you click on the rectangle box right there. at
Right
the-
there at the bottom?
Yeah, and it'll erase everything at once.
Oh, okay.
Just hit yes. You just have to hit yes.
Oh, is it yes?
After you click on that rectangle, hit yes.
Okay. Use that for next time. Alright guys, so on this video, this is a tornado safety video. I want you guys to think about safety precautions that you can take before a tornado, safety precautions you can take during a tornado,
And after.
and after.
Wait,
Yes,
do we
ma'am.
have to do the type of weather and climate?
So we're gonna get to that right after we get done doing this, okay?
Got it.
So for this one, I want you guys to focus on that first row in the box at the very end, okay? Janice, you can hit the light if you like.
You've probably heard of very powerful, dangerous storms such as hurricanes and tornadoes. Hurricanes are especially large storms with very strong winds and lots of rain. Especially strong hurricanes are capable of blowing down buildings and trees. Fortunately, because hurricanes are so large and relatively slow moving, scientists can tell people where and when they are approaching. This gives people time to evacuate or leave the area to avoid the most dangerous part of the storm. Tornadoes are smaller, very powerful storms that are much harder